Baby.
We in here. Yeah, we in here. 'Cause we been
Y'all better get comfortable with saying black.
We in here. Yeah, we in here.
Black versus the Board of Education.
'Cause we came here, rid of us now. We in here. Yeah, we in here. 'Cause we came here, rid of us now. And you know, and we know, and we go. 'Cause we been here.
That's why we are indeed a whole mood.
That's it.
Bam, 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 bam.
That is so much better than that mess that Sherman was playing while we was off
Thank
air.
you. Trying to steal my job. Not today.
Welcome to another Monday of Black versus the Board of Education. My name is Miss Laureen, and of course, you know what it is. We get down every Monday. After this Monday, though, you're not gonna see us for a while because we're taking a break. End of what season is this? This 6, 5, 5, 6, 5? Okay, Melissa said it's 5, so that means she's awake. All right. Well, we have the ladies in the building. Adrian is out, and so we are going to kick it to Quinessa so she can start us off with introductions.
Hi, I'm Quinessa. I'm a youth advocate here, and I'm excited for our season finale.
Yay! we are excited. Absolutely. Hey, Miss Lady, you back?
Yes, I am. Hi, everyone. My name is Anaya, and I'm in a good mood because yesterday was my birthday. And I am...
Wait, you ain't always in a good mood? Wait, what happened?
Oh, no. Just like extra special today, you know.
Okay.
I am a little sad that the season's over, but I'm excited for next.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. What's up, Keela?
Hey, it's your girl, Keela. We're doing good. Excited for this weekend.
Wait, you said we're?
Mm-hmm.
You got a couple personalities we don't know about.
You know, I talk in third person sometimes.
Oh, you like Trey. Got it.
Oh, no, he's like me. I'm older.
Okay, there you go.
Boom.
All right.
Thank you.
And so you said we're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Okay.
Celebration weekends this weekend, so I'm pretty excited. I don't got an outfit yet, so not too much on me, but we're good.
Now, I don't understand this holding it off to the last minute stuff that y'all are doing.
Okay, so to be honest, I just I'm just procrastinating, to be honest. I'm sorry.
Spoken like a true Sagittarius.
You know the vibes.
Hey, Melissa, what's up?
Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa, and I am very excited for today's episode, but I'm also really sad because it's the season finale, and I've been here since the beginning, and it's very bittersweet, but it's okay.
What is this bittersweet? She acts like she's going somewhere. I don't understand.
She'll
Girl,
be in a different setting.
Yeah.
The next season.
Well, no more high school, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the next chapter.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that.
Oh,
Look at y'all. Don't cry though, because I think that with change is good. Change can be good, and you'll be closer to us. So that just means we pull up on you a little bit more. And so today we are speaking with Miss Synthia Smith from Sisters of Nia. We are, the title says Exploring Empowerment and Unity with Miss Synthia Smith. And so we're going to kick it to her and let her introduce herself. And we're going to ask you questions about Sisters of Nia. So you don't have to give it all to us right now.
Okay.
But just go ahead and introduce yourself and greet the people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Glad to be here, especially knowing that this is the last episode for the season. I am Synthia Smith. I'm the founder and executive director of Sisters of Nia. It is a 3-year rites of passage program for girls in middle school, grades 6 through 8. So we aim to build self-esteem, leadership skills, academic achievement, mother-daughter, father-daughter relationships, and ultimately inspire, empower, and encourage them to live their life with a purpose.
I love it. And, there can never be enough programs for our middle schoolers because we've been hanging out with some middle schoolers this year. I never knew. I never knew some of the stuff that was going on with them and how they were interpreting the world around them in the way that they're interpreting it. So I'm glad that you're here. And I know that we've been looking at some of your posts and resharing them. And you guys are currently recruiting now for next year, correct?
Yes. So we only accept girls in the program in 6th and 7th grade. Right now, we're recruiting 6th grade we have 2 meeting locations. One is in Sacramento, one is in Elk Grove. So we're currently accepting enrollment for both locations for 6th grade and also accepting enrollment for 7th grade at the Elk Grove location. We never take new girls in the program in 8th grade, so they have to start the program in 6th or 7th.
Oh, okay. So they can't start in 8th, but they can get there in 6th and 7th.
Correct.
And I don't know what's going on over here. Y'all got a lot going on. Not sure what's popping. But yeah. Anaya, I'm gonna kick it to you for the first question.
Okay, so I was on the website and I saw that y'all have a camp this summer. Can
Mhm.
you speak on that?
Absolutely. So we offer a summer performing arts camp called Camp Nia. It's a 2-week summer performing arts camp for girls in ages 11 to 14. We offer 4 different classes, so they are able to choose two to take each day. We offer classes in singing, acting, set design, and dancing. And again, they choose 2 classes to work on every day. At the end of the 2 weeks, they put on a performance for the community. It's a low cost full day camp. So the girls come from 9:30 to 3. We only charge $200 for the 2 weeks. We also provide breakfast snacks. We provide a catered lunch every day, and it's just a wonderful program. A lot of the girls come in the camp really shy, kind of timid. But by the end of the 2 weeks, they are definitely breaking out of their shell. Some of them are still a little shy and a little nervous to be on stage, but they're doing it, and they feel a sense of accomplishment once they finish the program.
I love it. Miss Melissa.
Is there a specific reason why it's targeted towards middle school age girls? Because I know there's not a lot of opportunities for middle school age girls, which is something I've realized. So is there a specific reason as to why?
Yes, there's a few reasons. The main reason has to do with myself. um, I started Sisters of Nia because when I first started the program, I was a teacher, and when I became a teacher, I knew I wanted to do more than just teach, but I didn't know what it was that I wanted to do. Myself, I had a lot of personal issues in middle school, going into adulthood, and a lot of that stemmed from things that I was dealing with in my family situation. Um, and I knew that this was a target age for me. My issues starting in middle school kind of carried over to high school, which has some negative effects, and carried over into adulthood, which has some negative effects. So I chose middle school because I felt like that was a great age group to target just before they go into high school, to help them strengthen their confidence, to help them strengthen their self-esteem, strengthen their sense of who they are. I also had 2 daughters in middle school at the time that I started Sisters of Nia, and felt like and they were at a middle school that went from 6th to 8th grade, and I just felt like that was a great age group to target, being that they were in middle school and they could be the first girls in the program as well. So
Mhm.
kind of a double-edged sword there. With a lot of it has to do with my personal experience, and then looking at what I saw the girls and my daughter's age group dealing with at that time as well.
Miss Cornessa.
Well, where did the name Sisters of Nia come from?
So when I was in grad school, I was working on a master's, and I was doing some research, came across a curriculum, I think it's an 8 or 10 week curriculum. It's actually called Sisters of Nia, but it's
Mm.
written by Dr. Faye Belgrave. And when I saw that curriculum, I was like, okay, this is it. This is going to be the foundation of our program. But with it just being 8 or 10 weeks, I wanted our program to be a bit longer. I knew I wanted to address those middle school years. So that curriculum is the foundation of our program. We use that for our 6th grade cohorts each year. Some of it, we've kind of changed the lessons up a little bit, but that is the foundation, and that's where the name came from. And Nia means purpose in
Engusa
Swahili.
Saba.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes. Miss Keela.
So I just wanted to know if it was like an all year program, and then if it is, how does it look like on a day-to-day basis?
So the regular program, initially when we started, we were a weekly program. We met weekly with them. When we first started the program, we were meeting at PS7 Middle School on their
Mhm.
campus. We stayed there for about 7 years, but we came off that campus because we wanted to be able to open the program up to more girls in the community. We wanted it to be more community based rather than school based. So since COVID, when COVID hit, we went online and we're
Mhm.
meeting,
Good
and
old
then
COVID.
right, and then after COVID, we started meeting once a month, and it just seemed like it was uh, better for the families to be able to get there once a month, especially with us. Initially, we were meeting after school. So to be a community based program and have folks try to get their daughters somewhere in the evening was challenging. So we moved the program to a Saturday. We meet the first Saturday of each month in Sacramento. It's about 2.5 hours for the meeting. Elk Grove meets 2 hours on Monday evenings. And then in between those monthly meetings, we do some other activities as well. So we try to keep them connected. We know that once a month is not a lot. So we do other things like outings together. We might go skating or we might go see a production, but we try to do some other activities to keep them connected between the monthly meetings.
And so, I mean, I'm listening, and every time you're talking, I have these great questions, and then you stop talking, and it's like, so, how many girls do you serve every year? In are your cohorts, are they broken down into the grade ages, or is it all the girls at one time?
Mhm. So we typically have about at full capacity 36 girls. There's 12 girls per grade level.
Okay.
We'll start the meetings with everyone together, all the grade levels together. We have a Sisters of Nia affirmation song that they'll sing together. We have our Sisters of Nia creed that they recite together. We have our Nguzo Saba, which is the principles of the program it's a chant that they do together. So we do some activities together, about 30 minutes, and then they break off into their grade level groups, and they're in their grade level groups for about an hour and a half. At the end of the session, sometimes we come back together, sometimes the meetings run over, depends on what the topic is.
Back over here to you, Miss Lady. Hey.
So, personal opinion, what has been for you the most impactful event or outing you've done?
The most impactful event. Well, they're all impactful.
That's right. Say it. Yeah.
But I would say the summer camp, and that's because it's a 2-week. It's kind of a mini version of Sisters of Nia, especially now that we meet monthly. Our meetings run from September through June, so we meet only 10 times a year with the monthly meetings. So the camp, being that it's 2 weeks, you get a deeper dose of the program and a longer time period because they're there all day long. So that's definitely one of my favorite events. And just to see the changes in the girls in such a short amount of time is quite remarkable. One of our girls that started the camp or did the camp with us back in 2022, she actually started spoken word from the camp. She always wrote, but she started performing. She got her first opportunity to perform at at the camp performance. Now she's been performing all over the place. Y'all may know her, Noah Sinai. She actually wrote the script for the production this year. So that's a great thing to see. Another of my favorite events, though, is our scholarship awards reception, because we give away a large amount of money and we give it away to a large amount of young ladies. And it's just an awesome thing to see all the things that they're doing, all the great things that they're doing. And many of them keep in touch with us, and they've graduated from college and are doing great things in the community. So that's definitely one of my favorites as well.
Quinessa. And then I'll come to Melissa. Sorry, Melissa, I'm distracted.
How do you think your life would be different if you had a program like this when you were in middle school?
It would have saved me a lot of trauma and turmoil that I caused myself.
And it looks like you stole Melissa's question, but go ahead.
Yes, I put myself through a lot of unnecessary drama and trauma just because I didn't have an outlet. I had the Black church, but back then that was not a place that you could really express.
You don't cut up in the Black church.
No, you don't. And you don't tell them, some personal things that you got going on, because
they're going to make you get up in front of everybody and tell them.
Exactly.
Yeah, they was large on the embarrassment tip.
Absolutely. So I never really had an outlet like that. And I think I would have just saved myself a lot of turmoil and probably would have found happiness a lot sooner.
Melissa, you got to think of something new.
I got one. What are the main core values or lessons that you want the girls to take away from Sisters of Nia?
And you took Keela's question.
I got one in the back though.
The main thing really is self-esteem is the big thing. We really want them to feel empowered. We want them to feel like they matter, that their voice matters, that they are strong and confident with who they are as a young lady. So that would be the number one thing. And then going out and finding their purpose, really diving into who they are, thinking about what their interests are, and start to explore what some of their interests are, and applying that to trying to find out what their purpose is in life. So when they're in 8th grade, they have 8 different rites of passage tests that they have to complete in order to graduate the program. And one of those is to interview someone who's in a career field that you may be interested in pursuing, interview or shadow. They also have to interview or shadow an entrepreneur. So we have some activities in place that really help them to start exploring what they think they might be interested in pursuing in their life and later in life.
I have 2 questions. So
What is this two stuff?
well, just to back
Hold
in,
on.
because I have a question, but you just sparked something. So you know how you said they have to talk to entrepreneurs
Mhm.
and everything. Do you provide those resources for them?
Great question. We don't,
Okay.
unless they need us to.
Okay.
We
Mm.
really want them to do this on their own.
Right,
But if
okay.
they reach, if they're trying to find someone and they have no luck, then yes, we'll help them with that.
Okay. Okay. And my second question was, so what are the topics you guys typically talk about, if there is topics, and is like social media one of them?
Yes, and yes, yes, it is. So in sixth
That
grade,
was technically 3 questions, but go ahead.
Okay.
Just
my bad.
I'm counting.
social media is kind of woven. Like there's not a particular lesson just on social media, but we talk about that a lot.
Mm.
The sixth grade theme is Who Am I? And they really focus on learning about what sisterhood looks like, what does it mean to be, and what does it look like to be a sister of Nia. They'll get an introduction into African history. We start with the fact that it's a continent, not a country.
How about
Mhm.
that?
They're going to learn about different African queens, ancient African civilizations. And then we'll come back to, in that year, coming back to sisterhood. The seventh grade theme is Am I All That I Can Be? Or Am I Who I Say I Am? I'm sorry. Am I Who I Say I Am? And in seventh grade, their focus is really on kind of digging deep into themselves. Individuality is a strong focus, problem solving in a positive and productive way. The use of positive affirmations to help change your life for the positive. Those are some key topics that we talk about in seventh grade, and then they go a little bit deeper into African history. And then eighth grade is a culminating year where they kind of bring to life all the things that they've learned from sixth and seventh grade, and that's where those rites of passage tasks come into play, where they have one of those due every single month. And their theme is Am I All That I Can Be? And really just looking inward, and a couple of the questions that we ask them toward the end of the year is, do they feel like they're all that they can be? What else do they think that they can be doing to help them feel like they are living to their fullest potential at this time of their life?
And I love that. And I think about all of the programs that are currently operating around. And this one seems more streamlined and focused on Black girls specifically. Do you find that it's difficult to have or to get support because you're specifically focused on Black girls?
That's a great question. It depends on yes, sometimes, yes. And it really depends on who the audience is when you're talking support. From our Black women, I get a lot of support. I get a lot.
Shout out to the Black women in the community.
I should say we get a lot of support. But that's probably our strongest support group. Would be Black women.
Okay. And I just wanted to acknowledge Miss Danita is in the comments, and she says Sydney went through it and graduated last year. Amazing program, definitely recommended.
Awesome.
So shout out to Miss Danita.
Thank you, Danita.
Back to you, Miss Anaya.
So you said you were previously in teaching, and I just wanted to ask you, how did transitioning from teaching to having your dreams come to light in Sisters of Nia, how did that impact and kind of change your life?
So it's a natural transition because all the skills and everything that I gained from being a teacher definitely applied to Sisters of Nia. It was so when I started the program, I was teaching, and I actually decided to take a step back and not teach full time so that I could focus on Sisters of Nia a bit more. So it did impact my life in that way. I worked full time for quite a while running the program, but that's a lot, and it gets to be a little bit taxing. So I stepped back and work part time so that I could really be able to focus on the program and build it and grow it.
Who do you have like leading these sessions and leading the camps? Is it ever the girls that have graduated and come back?
Great question. Yes. So that's the beauty. So when we started Sisters of Nia, we were like, "Oh Lord, we're gonna have to wait a long time to see the results." And we started in 2009, and it's the first cohort of young ladies. We loved them to death, but we were on the school campus, and sometimes we literally have to go hunt them down and make them come to the Nia meeting. They didn't want to be there, but they love the program. Like they would rather go play or go do whatever they were doing rather than coming over to the Nia meetings. But now we have 2 of those young ladies that are actually leading well, now it's their 7th grade cohort. They led the 6th grade cohort this year in Sacramento. Um, and they'll be moving up every year with their group of girls and graduating them out in 8th grade. So we have 2 there. We have a NIA alumni that's leading the 6th grade group in Elk Grove. We have a NIA alumni that's one of our board members. We've reached out to several of them, have their own businesses. So like when we do events, we have one that has a decorating business. She does all of our decor. We have one that's into photography. So we really stay connected to them as long as they want to stay connected to us. They'll reach out for letters of recommendation when they're in college, and they've not been in the program since 8th grade. So actually they'll reach out for letters of recommendation beyond that as well. So we stay connected with our alumni as long as they want to stay connected to us. And many of them also come back and volunteer at different events as well.
Awesome. Melissa.
You mentioned sisterhood earlier. Can you define kind of what that means to you?
Great question. So sisterhood means it's unity, is friendship, is having each other's back, is having somebody that you feel safe and comfortable with to share whatever you would like to share, your things that you're going through, the great things that you're experiencing. It's a connection, and it's definitely a connection, and especially in Sisters of Nia, I would say our sisterhood is a connection that you're not going to get anywhere else. I call it like a little sorority that they start when they're in 6th grade, but they get to be in for the rest of their lives. And while they may, when they're older and graduate from high school or graduate from college, they may not stay connected and talk on the phone or text every day. But when they come together, it's like they never left. They have a very strong connection. So I would say sisterhood is definitely a connection and unity in a safe space.
How does the recruitment process work?
So it's actually pretty simple. We put info out there on social media. We send in, information about our program to local schools. It's really first come, first serve. There's a simple registration form that parents would complete. And once we get that registration, they're enrolled in the program. So there's no interview process. It's really just first come, first serve. Whoever feels like they need the program or would like to have their child in the program.
And if you're just joining us, we are concluding our season today with the last installment of our nonprofit series. We have Miss Synthia Smith from Sisters of Nia, and we are exploring empowerment and unity with her. I didn't realize that. Was it Kara? Is that your daughter? I did not realize Kara was your daughter. So Kara came through the social justice boot camp. So gosh, I don't even know what year that was. 2018?
Like 2018 or 19.
Yeah. And so I find it interesting that I never met you because your daughter's quite the firecracker.
She is
love her. And so how are your girls doing? Are they coming back? Are they giving back to Sisters of Nia? What role do they play?
Unfortunately, they both live out of state. One is my oldest daughter is in Tampa, Florida, and Kara's in Houston.
Oh gosh.
So,
okay.
Yeah, they don't.
I mean, but it's they could get on social media because
they do
virtual.
That.
Okay.
And they do donate. I will say that they do donate. They donate for the Big Day of Giving. My younger daughter was actually out here last year. We did a donor appreciation, and she spoke about her experiences in the program as well. But they're both doing great. They both graduated from college and are in their careers.
Awesome. You. I don't know why my watch is going off, my computer is going off. I'm like, what in the world is happening? Go ahead. Sorry.
Just one piece of advice you would give someone who might have also been a teacher but wanting to get out of the traditional way of teaching.
So personally, as a teacher, I always put my own flavor on things. So I taught in Hayward Unified School District, and then and I taught there first for 4 years, and then I came to Elk Grove. When I taught in Hayward, we really didn't have curriculum. Literally, like there were no books.
You don't have no curriculum.
We didn't have no curriculum. we didn't have a lot of.
So you got to make it up.
I did,
Freestyle.
And I actually enjoyed it.
Come on now.
I mean, we were given the standards, and I knew what I was supposed to be teaching them. But I had a lot of flexibility there because there was really not a lot of curriculum. And Elk Grove was a little bit different.
I bet.
Elk Grove, there's some specific curriculum you got to teach. But I still put my own flavor on the lessons. I still kind of, my family was my classroom was a family. I in Elk Grove, I bounced around. I taught all the grade levels. But my favorite was probably second grade. And all of my classrooms was like a family. And I honestly kind of talked to them like I was talking to my own kids.
Because you're supposed to. Go ahead.
So I would say that, just be comfortable, be confident in who you are. Relationships is probably the biggest thing. If you can build relationships with them from day one, they'll do whatever you want them to do. So I never really had many behavioral issues in my classroom because I had a strong relationship with my students.
What they say, connection before correction. They doing it all wrong now. Miss Lady?
One thing we ask about a lot here is self-care. So what does self-care mean for you, and is it something that you talk about with your girls?
That was Keela's question too.
I just love how that's her go-to.
Because guys are sharing the same mind. Self-care is critical, and we definitely teach that to the girls, from small things like breathing techniques to journaling to meditating. Me personally, like some real self-care is being able to get on a plane and go somewhere.
Okay. Talk louder in the mic.
That's what I like.
Okay.
But I do those things, and then also like going to the spa, like inexpensive things. I like water. So there's a spot in Sacramento called William B. Pond. That's kind of a lot of people know about it, but a lot of people don't know about it. It's serene. It's right on the river, and there's a lot of shade. So I like things like that. Just getting out of my house, and changing the scenery up a little bit.
Miss Melissa?
What are some of the struggles you've run into over the years building it from the ground up to where it is today?
The biggest struggle is finances.
Come on.
That's the number one struggle. Getting funding. It's, as a grassroots organization, it's hard to get funding. It's like you got to have money in order to get the money. And they want you to have big money in order to get big money. And it's really, when I sit back and think about all the things that we've done on such a
shoestring budget.
There it is. Yes. I'm quite amazed and impressed with what we've been able to accomplish. That's definitely the number one challenge. And the second challenge would probably be in finding people to work with the program that are committed to working with the program. So we've been fortunate because we are able to go back into our alumni pool and reach out to some of them to see if they'd like to come and do things that we need to have done. So number one would be finances, and then number two, finding people to be committed.
You ain't never lied. I'm about to raise you an offering real quick. Go ahead.
So what's your end goal? Do you see it expanding? Like, what's your end goal for Sisters?
Yes. So our ultimate goal, and I've said this from day one, everybody knows who Girl Scouts is, right?
Right.
And that's what we want for Sisters in the
Ooh,
Air.
I love
the Black Girl Scouts. Y'all gonna sell cookies?
Right. No.
No.
I like the cookies.
I do like the cookies too. We might have to find something else to sell. But that's really it. It's just for the program to be known for Black girls, like Girl Scouts is known for girls.
So much.
Miss Anaya.
So that being said, I was going to ask you, where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? But to add on to Keela's question, are you planning to expand out of California, since I'm assuming you just said you want to be really well known. So how do you see the program doing that?
That is, yes, we definitely want to expand out of California. And that's a challenge because it kind of goes back to finances, and it goes back to those people that you got to have in place. But right now we just want to expand in California.
Yes.
So last year was our first expansion where we started that group in Elk Grove. That is a brand new group, and it's a tiny little group right now because it's brand new. But I expect that group is going to fill up next.
I think we got some 6th graders we can kick over to you.
Awesome. Let's kick them over.
Let's kick some 6th graders over to
them. We do. Well, they go in 7th grade now.
Yeah.
That we have some space in our 7th grade group in Elk Grove. So
I will text her over today.
Yeah. Please do.
Yes, indeed, because we believe the more programming, the better. Nobody should have a monopoly on servicing these kids, because there may be something they take from there. They'll take something from here. They'll take something from someplace else. And our job is not to limit them, but to make sure that they have access to quality programming and quality individuals. Where did I leave off, Cornessa?
What do you think is the biggest struggle that our girls are facing today, and how did that change from when you first started?
Ooh,
Come on.
That's a great
Yeah.
question.
I like that one.
When we first started Sisters of Nia, because it's a little bit different, because when we first started the program, all the girls were going to one school. Now they all come from all over Sacramento. So when we first started the program, our biggest challenge was dealing with the issues that they had when they were in school together, and that came over to the meeting with them, to Sisters of Nia. Now the girls are more dealing. There's a lot of anxiety happening. There's a lot of depression. There's a lot of girls are feeling like they have to grow up real quick, especially if they have younger siblings at home that they're responsible for taking care of. Those are some I don't want to say new things, but we're seeing that a lot more than what we saw 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Was it exacerbated by COVID?
I would say yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Social anxiety, yes, absolutely. Before COVID, we had no issues with the girls talking, communicating. And then, the fact that they have their cell phones that are in their face. 5 years ago, even a lot of girls didn't have cell phones at that age.
Right.
But now everybody has one. So
Or two. They told me about some burner phones when I was over at the junior high. I'm like, wait,
wow.
what? Yeah. So when my mama take my phone, I just have this other
That's
one.
crazy.
I'm like, what?
Wow.
I had a phone and I could only call my mom or 911. Like from 7th to like 9th grade, and I begged her.
Oh my goodness.
Like, that's crazy.
And so I'm just wondering, you guys are hearing about the services that Sister of Nia has. Is this something that could have benefited you while you were growing up in the places you were at?
Absolutely. 6th grade was the worst year of my life.
6th grade?
Yeah, it was so hard. And
what made it the worst year of your life? I mean, that's a lot.
My little brother went into the hospital. I lost all of my friends. So I lost my boyfriend at the time.
The boyfriend.
So I went to school and I learned and I went home and that was it. And so it was really hard for me to figure that out and then recover from that in 7th grade and then in 8th grade and then going into high school. So I think I really would have benefited from having a core group of friends outside of school that I knew that I still had. And I think I could have recovered from that a lot faster.
Yeah. Melissa, what do you think?
6th grade, I think, was also like the worst year of my life. I got
so dramatic.
Middle school was horrible. I got bullied in 6th grade, and I moved middle schools for all 3 years. So I didn't have a group of friends really. I lost contact with everyone that I've talked to over all of the years of middle school. So that was really, really hard for me. And so I also think I really would have benefited from having stability in that sense and being able to talk to the same group of people, to have another adult, like besides my mom, obviously, that I knew had my best interests at heart, and wanted to help generate healthy conversations. I definitely would have benefited from that.
Anaya?
I'd have to agree. I think I would have benefited if I was in the program for sure. Also, going back to just everything that you do in the program, I think if I was exposed to that within the program, I think that would have been really beneficial. For example, the camp. I don't sing, but if I would have to sing, that's something that I might enjoy and fall in love with and find a new hobby. So I would say, yeah, I would have benefited from that. Middle school wasn't horrible for me, but
Yeah, I heard habit instead of hobby. You corrected that. I heard.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I feel like I definitely would have benefited from the program only because I switched middle schools, or I didn't switch middle schools. So I went to an elementary school and then I switched. So I knew nobody. And then I went to Smedberg. So I felt like since I'm a lighter complexion, I had to be like the white girls. I straightened my hair all the time. And it was just so like normal. But I feel like if I would have, and I have sisters, but they're also light like me. So then it's just like, if I would have been in a program like this to self-care, love yourself, be that for yourself, I think I would have definitely benefited from it and been more confident at a younger age.
And so we have actually a question for you from that gentleman right there. He says, how can we tell our Black girls that it's okay for them to be themselves when they are forced to essentially be the second parent of the household? That's a good question, sir.
That is a great question. they still have to be themselves. They still have to feel confident and comfortable with who they are as a young lady, and they still have to. They still have to know who they are. They still have to be themselves, even regardless of whatever is going on around them. They still have to know who they are as a young lady. That's probably one of the hardest things, because you are pouring into them in Sisters of Nia, but then they go back home to that same situation. And how do they take those tools that they get in Sisters of Nia and apply it to their life in their real life situation at home?
Right.
And that's one of the biggest challenges that we have, especially if they're coming from a family who is not quite so supportive at home. They have to be able to really dig down deep in themselves. But we are also here. We're the girls all have our numbers, so we're also available to them at any time if they need to reach out and talk about whatever. But that's probably one of our greater challenges as well.
What is your parental involvement like? Do you get a lot of support from the parents, or are they dropping the kids off and then leaving? Are you the glorified babysitter? Like, what's popping? Because that's one of them age ranges where they're going into their teen years, but some of them haven't quite hit it. So how what's going on with that?
So a few years ago we implemented parent outreach workshops, and those are every other month. And we have a facilitator who leads those, and they talk about all kinds of different things as it relates to being a parent. Since we started implementing those, we get a lot more participation. There's a lot of parents who actually want to be in there in those sessions, and either they share different experiences that they're going through with their daughter, or they'll share advice and tips for other parents. We do have some parents, though, who think we're just a drop off and pick up. And, sometimes they drop off or they come pick up a little on the late side. But for the most part, I would say that we have a pretty strong parent support, I would say. Yeah. And I also wanted to jump in, too, because I know somebody had mentioned they were bullied in
Melissa.
That is still an issue. Like, we still have a lot of girls who say that they're being bullied, and a lot of the bullying is about their skin tone. And some of these kids are going to hair. Some of these kids are going to fortune schools or PS7, where it's all a bunch of kids that are black
that look like them,
right? But they're getting bullied by those kids, and it's like they get bullied there, but then they also get bullied at a traditional school as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's really like, what do I do so that I don't get bullied? And that's a big challenge too. We actually had a young lady in our program who switched from, I think it's Toby Johnson, and went over to Fortune.
Oh, good Lord.
And I was like, well, how are you liking it? And she was like, well, I'm still getting bullied. That was her first comment. And so that really teaching the girls about skin tone, about hair, feeling comfortable and confident in both of those is so critical, and not to be teasing and bullying other people about that. So I wanted to put that out there, because we do have a lot of girls in the program who talk about that they're being bullied.
And I think that, there's this thing, bullying has become a buzzword a lot in some of the conversations. But I think that it's the inaction of the adults that are contributing to these children being picked on or being talked about. You have a lot of jellyback adults who don't want to stand up to kids because either they're afraid of them, especially if they look like us, they're afraid of them, or they're trying to be their friends. And we don't tolerate that. And so at some point, we're going to have adults who can put on their big girl panties or draws, and really start to get to the root of it. Because when we allow things to continue to go on, we see the type of mess that we're seeing, with girls being super nasty to one another. And it's like, at the end of the day, who hurt you?
Right.
Who did it to you so that you think that it's okay to do it to other people? And those are the things that I saw on the school campuses that we're on. It's like, what's wrong with you? Like, come here, you need a hug? Like, what's going on? And so I just think that adults have to be adults. And the type of stuff that we're seeing right now, I don't know if our parents put up with it.
I don't think they did.
I don't know. I don't remember it ever being okay to go in and start talking about somebody's hair or their skin color. It makes me uncomfortable to talk about skin color. But Anaya, let me go to you.
So what advice would you give your middle school self, knowing what you know now?
Come on, middle school self.
that you are enough. Like you are enough. You are beautiful. You are special. You do matter. All of those things, because that's kind of how I felt was the opposite going through middle school. Didn't feel like what I didn't have a sense of purpose at all. I was just floating through life because the issues that I was dealing with were definitely taking precedent to all of the other things in my life.
Okay.
So good question.
Have you ever had any requests to create a Brothers of Nia?
Brothers of Nia?
Yes. So when we were on PS7's campus, we actually had Brothers of Kaumba, another one of the principles, Kaumba Creativity. And we had men of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, the grad chapter who ran that. And it was awesome, but they only took one group of men, or one group of young men, I should say, boys through the program. They kept them from 6th through 8th grade, but they never took another group. So, I mean, it was wonderful while the program existed, but it was just so short. And that kind of goes back to commitment.
Yep.
It's hard
Consistency.
to find.
Yep.
Especially if you're not getting paid.
Yep.
So, yeah. And we still get asked that to this day. Is there a program for boys? And I feel like men should lead the program for boys.
Absolutely. I'm with you. Absolutely. Miss Melissa.
You talked about one of the struggles when you were on just one campus was trying to get girls to come to the meetings. So since this isn't now like a school run thing or it's not school in general, it's not mandatory, what is the retention rate? And like, what are girls going all through the program? Are they dropping out? What does that look like?
Great question. So we'll start with 12 girls in 6th grade, and usually there are a couple of girls who are going to drop out. It's a big commitment, even though we only meet once a month. For some of them, that's too much. And then we have expectations of other, things that they're going to participate in. So, for example, we just had our Rites of Passage celebration for this year, and we had 9 that finished the program out of the 12 that started with them. So I think that's about typical. We'll typically have about 9. Getting all 12 to finish is I don't think that's happened yet. I think there's always at least 1 or 2 young ladies who come out of the program. And I always tell, because it's to me, it's kind of on the parent. I will tell parents that your daughter may say she doesn't want to go or she doesn't want to be in the program, but she don't really know what she needs or wants.
And she's a kid.
Help her with that. Right. So I strongly encourage parents, push your daughter through the program, even if she doesn't want to be in it. And at the Rites of Passage, we had, out of the 9 girls, probably 4, maybe 5, say that they're glad that their parent put them in the program, that they're glad their mother made them get up on that Saturday morning and go to the NIA meetings. They may not appreciate it when they're in the program, but they're going to appreciate it when they come to the end of the program. Most definitely.
Keela?
You said in middle school you weren't, like, there was a lot of trauma and everything. When did you start finding yourself?
Not until I would say early 30s. Late 20s, early 30s. It took a long time. And it's like, it doesn't take a long time for you to mess up, but it takes a long time for you to recover from the mess up.
Heal.
You said what?
And heal.
Heal.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing about programming. It's not going to fix something that has taken a long time to get you to where you are. You have to invest the time to undo some of that or unlearn some of that stuff that you learned. Right. And that's why I love your answer. We didn't find ourselves in y'all's age.
No.
Like, let's keep it a buck. As young ladies, we went through a lot of stuff and a lot of things because of the decisions we were making. We didn't always listen to adults when they were, or to our grandparents when they were trying to tell us the right things to do. We wanted to go figure it out. We had to bump our heads a couple times. And I'm learning that with my own daughter. She got to bump her head a couple times before, I don't know when that's going, I don't know. But I'm yet praying for her because I think that, at the end of the day, we just want what's best for them. But we have to realize that sometimes they're not going to listen, and it ain't because you felt as a parent or as a mentor or whatever it was. It's just they want to do their own thing.
Right.
And so I think that's the hardest lesson for a parent to learn is allowing yourself to let go, because there's this will. I do it with y'all around here. I want to keep a hold of y'all, but at some point I'm gonna have to let you go. I don't know when, because I ain't ready yet. But It just is what it is.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because it's like, wait, no, I see where you're going. Hold on, I've been there. I wrote the book about it. I can help you with that. But for some reason, there's this thing a lot of times, even now with the friend groups our girls are choosing, their voices hold more weight than the parent or the adult or the authority. And that's very, very dangerous. Because your friends don't know nothing either.
Right.
And they're trying to tell you what they would do, and they ain't experienced life yet.
Right.
And as older ladies, it's our job to try to interrupt some of that and to stop some of that from going. Am I back to you, Anaya? And Sherman is sending me all kinds of questions. Do you take it personal when a kid you're mentoring chooses not to listen to you?
Not at all. That's normal.
I do.
I can tell you.
I do. Shoot, go ahead.
Because at this point, I'm like, I'm gonna give you the information, and it's on you to decide what you're gonna do with it. So I think I take it more personally from the parents. If especially if they come to me seeking some advice or seeking some wisdom, and then they go off and do whatever they do and don't even take.
It's like, girl, why you ask me?
Right.
Why you ask me? You ain't had to even involve me in that.
Right.
Quinessa.
Come back to me.
Anaya.
Okay. So I was gonna ask, you said Nia and Kumba
creativity
are those the principles? And then if you can go into the other ones and what they mean.
Girl, okay.
Girl, I remember them all.
I know it's Emojas, unity, right? Kuji Jakalia, self-determination. That was my favorite one, to define yourself, name yourself, create for yourself, and speak for yourself instead of being defined, named, and spoken for by others.
Yep.
That was mine. Then there was Ajima, which is that cooperative economics?
It is, let me double check, girl, because I know.
And then there's a JAMA
program, but I don't have them all memorized. Ujima. It's
that. Whatever she said.
So Ujima is collective work responsibility.
Okay, I was right. Hey, come on.
Ujima is cooperative economics.
Okay.
And then Umoja, unity. Hashima, respect. Hashima is one that we added.
I don't know. Okay, I'm about to say I don't know that one.
So we have
there were 7 principles.
Yeah, 7 from Kwanzaa, but we have 8 for the program.
Okay.
And then Kuumba, creativity, Nia, purpose, Imani, faith, and Kujitagalia, self-determination.
Yeah, that's mine right there.
And follow-up question, why did you decide? Because I know Kwanzaa is not maybe as I grew up celebrating it, so it's not as big as I thought it was. So I just wanted to ask, why did you decide to incorporate that into the program as well?
Because those are the principles of Afrocentric living, daily lives. So we expect the girls to live their lives by these principles, our NIA facilitators to live their lives by those principles, myself to live my life by those principles. Those are the principles of Afrocentric living. So that's why I chose those.
And we're going to get Sherman together on this camera work because you was answering and he had it on Anaya. Melissa.
You mentioned the I think like the rites of passage ceremony. What does that look like at the end of the program?
Awesome. It's a beautiful ceremony. The girls all wear white. They're required to wear white, all white.
That sounds like something out of Black Panther, but go ahead.
They share about their experience in the program, how they've been impacted from the program. They share about so I didn't mention Atlanta. We take the 8th grade.
I was about to ask you about that. The trip to Atlanta.
They share about that trip, and I'll come back and talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
They share about how that trip impacted their life. They share, they recite the creed, the Nguzo Nane, and sing the Nia affirmation song again. The parents come up and share words of adoration with their daughters, how they've seen them grow, what they want to see in them. It gets very emotional.
Yeah.
And then the girls get gifted all their little, Sisters of Nia end of program gifts. We have a traditional hoodie that all the graduates get. It's an Adinkra symbol on the back. That's in Swahili is Bese Saka. It's actually this, which means we are one. So every girl gets that on the back of their hoodie, and then they get some other gifts as well. But it's like a little mini graduation, but very emotional because the girls get an opportunity to share about how they've been impacted by the program, and the parents get a chance to share with the girls how they feel like they've grown.
I love that, girly.
So you said you don't get offended with parents?
Oh, with the parents more so than the girls.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, do you think in that sense that the parents say their daughter expresses they're not really too sure they want to be in the program? Do you think you should let the child like express that to you and like you just don't come anymore? Or do you think the parent should be
No. The parents should be like, no, you still going.
okay?
Because I'm the parent
Right.
and I know what's best for you.
Exactly. And we've never had a girl come through the program and be like, I wish I didn't do Sisters in Nia. It was a waste of time. We've never, ever had anyone say that.
Okay.
So I'd strongly encourage parents to push their daughter through the program and try to make it happen.
And and I'm gonna put my husband on blast real quick because it's his birthday. But he always was the parent that would just force you to do something. And he was like, she don't know what she wants, she a child, right? And so he would be so forceful, and I'd be like, well, just let her figure it out. No, she's going. And then there was this one time she was doing something with some dance, something. And he was like, oh, you gonna try out? She's like, no, I'm not gonna try out. I want to quit or something. He's like, you about to do it. So she did it and she made it. And he's like, okay, now you go over there and tell him you want to quit. And then she's like, no, I don't want to quit. And I'm like, I'm listening to you. And it's like too many times the parents, we give them kind of that rope to make certain decisions. And I applaud you for saying, yeah, no, like make them go. We got to do something with them because the stuff that we saw pop off in Sacramento a couple weekends ago, with them little turds messing up Doco, going out there trying to fight with the police and care.
It's ridiculous.
Listen, get your kids involved in something.
Absolutely.
Something positive.
Yeah.
Something that's they're going to be able to go to consistently and start to change the way that they're doing stuff. If left to their own devices, we are setting our children up for failure. Period. That's what it is. So we got time for round robin. That means one more question. You got about 30 seconds to answer.
Okay.
And we're going to start with Anaya.
So I heard, or you said you're very big on like Afrocentric principles and stuff. So I wanted to ask you if you know about the principle or the term Ubuntu, meaning I am because you are because I am, we are one. I think that'd be something.
Well, that sounded just like the Indinkra, we are one type of situation.
That just sparked.
Okay.
I guess that's a comment.
That is a comment.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you, baby. Miss Cordessa.
How did you decide to include the parents in that promoting ceremony that you have?
I just thought it would be nice for the girls to be able to hear some words from their parents in a public setting.
Yeah.
And it's hard for some parents to express themselves. I think a lot of the girls don't necessarily hear some of that at home. So to hear it in a public setting from your parent, I think is very, very uplifting.
Absolutely.
Miss Melissa.
If you had to add one more value or pillar to Sister Nia, what would it be?
Sherman liked that one, Melissa.
That's a great question. I don't even know because I haven't thought about it. I feel like the 8 principles that we have kind of encompass the whole life, the whole person. I can't honestly think of one. You put me on the spot. I can't think of one on the top of my head.
Miss Keela.
I also have a comment. I just wanted to say thank you. I learned some good information today. I will be texting that girl that I mentioned earlier.
Awesome.
I think we can add a couple to them.
But yeah, I just wanted to say what you're doing is really beautiful. And I really felt the impact already. So
thank you.
I love it. So there's a couple things. So you're going to tell me about Atlanta because you do take, is it the 8th graders?
Yes.
You take the 8th graders on a college tour?
Yep, we do. Well, we call it an HBCU Black History Tour.
Okay.
We go to Spelman. We go to Clark Atlanta University. We do a walk through Morehouse. We go to the...
She's like, don't stay. Yeah, come on. Okay.
We do the Apex Museum, which is a hands-on African history museum.
Wow.
We do the National Center for Civil and Human Rights, which is a hands-on civil rights museum. Everything Dr. King. We do the birth home, the King Center, the burial site. And then we balance off some of that heavy with some light. We do the World of Coca-Cola, the zoo, the aquarium. We always go to Cascade. That's where this happened this year.
I'm about to ask about that. What is Cascade?
Skating. Cascade skating rink. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it's really a life-changing trip. We have a lot of girls that decided to go to HBCUs because of their experience on our college tours. We have girls that maybe didn't do an HBCU, but they went out of state. They went away to school.
Exactly.
And a lot of them have said that the college tour, the Atlanta trip, they can still verbalize as 25-year-olds how they were impacted by that trip when they were 14. It's definitely life-changing. It opens up their eyes to things that they don't get taught in schools and kind of culminates what they've learned in the program. And it's for many of them, they'll say that these are things that they had no idea about before they took that trip, before they went on that trip. And one of the activities is at the Center for Civil and Human Rights is a lunch counter simulation.
Oh.
So they have to put their hands on the lunch counter and close their eyes and put headphones on, and they can hear people screaming, people, all kind of name calling. You can feel like people are kicking your chair. And that's probably one of
we got to go do that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's probably one of the most impactful experiences on that trip.
Got goosebumps.
You got goosebumps. Well, I love that, and I love the fact that you're doing it when they're in 8th grade, because a lot of the trips we take, they're young adults, and some of them, when I was at the Capitol, we took high school students. So to hear that they're getting an opportunity in 8th grade, that is beautiful. But we are running out of time. And before we get out of here, because this is the last show of the season, we have just one little announcement that we want to pop off with. Celebration Weekend is this weekend. It's been a long time coming. We are all tired already, but we promise to give you the best that we got all weekend, Friday through Sunday. Friday, we're kicking off with what now?
Route 916, our Western themed soiree.
Yeah, so the soiree is Friday night. And don't worry, the fire that happened on Excelsior was not on this farm. It was across the street. So we are good to go. I done talked to him today. So we are good to go.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Saturday, we are at Elk Grove Regional Park for a family fun day. You guys got some games planned? What you guys got going on?
Listen, we got relay races. We got big Jenga, big Uno. You name it, we got it. So
pull up,
or be lame.
Yeah, what you said. And then Sunday we are ending our actual school year with our Black Grad celebration. If you have promoters K through 8 or graduates, high school, college to advanced college degrees, we are looking to party with you on Sunday. So make sure you go and you grab your tickets today, because we are cutting off the ability to register for Black Grad, because we got to get certificates, y'all. We're cutting off that ability today
at 11:59.
At 11:59. So go ahead and cop those. Miss Synthia, we want to invite you and the Sisters of Nia to join us if you guys would like to. All the events are absolutely free. We just want to be amongst our people. We are specific about our children, specifically Black children. And so if you want to come and get down with us, we will be here all weekend. Melissa, you get here on Friday, yes?
Yep, Friday.
And Melissa is our baby of the bunch, the one who's been with me the last 4 years. And she is going to transition to college at UC Berkeley. And we are very, very proud of you. And so, yeah, that's all. Is that it? That's all? Did I cover everything?
Yes, it is.
You sure?
What time is the event on Sunday?
4
It's
o'clock.
at 4 p.m.
4, okay, perfect.
4 o'clock.
Okay.
So if you don't have your tickets, you better get it, because they are serious about this cutoff. I tried to stall. Nope. I tried to give y'all some more time. They are not hearing me. So go ahead and get those tickets. With that, we are going to hit you with the peace sign. This is season 5 out. We will see y'all at the beginning of the next school year. Peace out.
Peace.